Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate today for all those still battling PD and their families because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guest is somebody who is just really a pleasure. I think I've tried to find new words each guest, but fabulous is a good one. And really just incredible the reach and the things that you're doing today for advocacy. So I wanted to welcome you, Lori, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe we could start by maybe I know a lot about you and I think it's inspiring, but maybe we can tell us a little bit about yourself so that we can inspire everyone else out there throughout the world. And we have so much important things because today's show is dedicated to the world of advocacy, not just, in my state, Florida, or I'm not sure what state you're in. We
I'm
really
in
need,
Pennsylvania.
I've been to Hershey Park. I love
There
it.
you go.
Although it's very cold there right now, so I'm glad I'm
Yes, it is. It's like
inside.
20 some degrees.
But, so maybe you could start us off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name's Lori Deporter. I'm a mom of three boys and a wife, and that's probably been one of the hardest things about Parkinson's because you don't get to switch off of being a mom when you get diagnosed. So, you have to balance that whole family and being a mom thing and getting yourself together to do that. But I'm kind of funny because I have a degree in engineering. I was never a really big athlete,
Mm.
and I ended up being a fitness trainer and a personal trainer and a writer and an advocate, and I don't really like public speaking. So
Mhm.
it's been kind of a interesting journey. But I wrote for Parkinson'sNewsToday.com for about over 4 years. I had a column there, and then I moved on to work to being a PMD Alliance and Global Ambassador. And my latest adventure is I'm a 2026 ambassador for the World Parkinson Congress.
Oh, it's amazing. And I think one thing, it's kind of odd that we talk about a lot on the show. Parkinson's brings unfortunate things like a diagnosis and symptoms, but it also, ironically and kind of odd, brings some positives too. It's made you a guest, as public speaker, and it's made me really find a family out there like you who only reason I'm able to keep going today is these stories and all the incredible people today I consider family through the advocacy. So thanks for standing up and voicing not just for yourself, but so many out there. And I always hope if we even just reach one person, which I know we hope we reach a lot more, but just one person, who might actually be timid and not want to speak. There's nothing wrong with it. But now, learn your journey. And now they're out there also right by your side speaking at something like the World Parkinson Congress. So thank you again.
Yeah, everybody's journey is different. Some people are out there. I never really tried to keep it to myself, but I know a lot of people with young onset do, and I completely understand why because there's a stigma attached to it, unfortunately, especially with young onset because people only know what they think Parkinson's is, which is Michael J. Fox and Muhammad Ali, and it's really not that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than that. It's moms, it's dads, it's daughters, and there's many more women than and many more young people than most people think.
Yeah, we tried here a lot lately to have a lot, not actually on purpose, but just ironically, a lot of females, women, and also younger people. We obviously allow and hope everyone will join us, but we have to break some of the misconceptions out there that it's just the elderly, old male disease because it's not. I mean, my mother was only 69, but she had it for 15 years, and that's actually kind of young in the 50s. So it's very important we share this and advocate together about that. You have so much to talk about. I hope we get to it all, but what's it like to be part of, Rocksteady? We had Mr. Ryan Cotton on the show, and it was really a beautiful discussion, but Rocksteady's kind of around the world now, and he explained how much it's grown. But maybe you could talk a little about the importance of slowing the progression of Parkinson's through exercise.
Yep. I did go to I went to Indianapolis and got certified as a coach. My husband went with me, and it was a wonderful experience. I've never been in a room with that many young onset people exercising together, so that part was great. It was hard for me to run an affiliate and do it all. It got to be too much for me. But I still coach and I still personal train. Um, and I do boxing but I also dance and we do all kinds of stuff because you have to find something that works for you and that's what you're going to stick to doing because if it's if you don't like running and someone tells you to run you're not going to run but So I did boxing, but I'm pretty well-rounded. I try to do a lot of things. Um, but it's kind of cool that I can do the foxtrot and throw a punch at the same time.
I love it. We won't make you demonstrate that.
No, but we do that in my classes,
Nice.
we'll do ballroom dancing and boxing at the same time, but
My
um
wife and my wife and I did one ballroom dancing to prepare for our wedding, and we never went back. It was
yeah.
a
Well,
experience.
it was kind of different because my physician is very adamant that music is good for your brain, and I completely agree. I'm an advocate for music and medicine, and he looked at my husband and said, "You need to take dance lessons with your wife." So it brought
Uh,
on a whole new dimension for our relationship, that's for sure. So we took it for 5 years, pretty much organized every Saturday morning. We took private dance lessons, but
uh,
we got to get back to it. We kind of faltered away from it a little bit, but we hope to get back to it.
Yeah, you never forget that once you learn, and maybe you'll teach me some steps when we meet, hopefully someday soon. I wanted to shift now to being an author because I just became one about last year, and it's not an easy task. Not everybody wants to do it. It's not always easy because of the topics, but maybe you can talk a little bit about becoming an author, and if you could talk about your book and also a lot of the writing that you've done, the magazine and actually online. The area that you worked with is incredible. I know, I think I had one story in there they did on me, but I share their information on our Facebook group every day because it's such an important tool for advocacy.
Yep. Well, I believe it or not, I wrote my first story, my first post, I guess you would say, um, for the Brian Grant Foundation. He was publishing people's just their story. And I did that as kind of almost like a journal. It was like a journal of almost like a cathartic experience. I was doing it for myself, and then it ended up being like, that's not half bad. So we sent it in, I sent it in and they published it on their website, but then they revamped their website and they took they just took all of them down. And I was like, I was very disappointed because I really enjoyed it. And my husband said, well, why don't you just start your own? So I started a blog called Dance Like No One Is Watching. That was my first attempt. That was my first thing I ever wrote. And then Parkinson's News Today, one of the editors read those and they hired me to write for them. So I wrote for them, and my column was called Life, Lemons, and Lemonade. You can still find it out there. It's archived now, but um, I just moved on to try to do different things, and because I couldn't keep the schedule that they needed me to keep. So I would love to write a book someday. Unfortunately, I have not. I would love to write a children's book with my son, is what I would really like to do. So that's on my back burner. But in terms of the articles and stuff, I kind of basically share my experience. I just kind of it was very personal, and my family was very supportive because I was like, I used to let them read it first. And I'm like, guys, I'm really putting it out there. I'm putting our life out there. And they were very supportive of it, especially for teenage boys. And you would think they would be a little more like, mom, but they really weren't. They were great. And as they got older, they're getting a little bit more involved in it. They've like my one son during COVID was stuck at home, so he did the boxing classes with me because I teach virtual classes. So he was doing it with me and getting out of bed and being my co-teacher. So it was kind of cool. I think the ladies liked him. And I have three boys. Then my middle son came to All In with me, and for one of the first ones in DC, and he listened to Larry Gifford speak.
Mhm.
And he was like, Mom, this organization, you've got to stick with this. You've got to keep doing this. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and you have to go to Barcelona to the World Parkinson Congress. So I said, okay. And my husband came with me. It wasn't something he wanted to do to go to Barcelona, but he did. And that was another life-changing experience for us. And what else in terms of my kids? Oh, ATMRD. Have you ever heard of ATMRD out there?
No.
Advanced therapeutic and movement disorders.
Mhm.
It's through PMD Alliance. They kind of run it. And this past year, my oldest son and I were on a patient panel called "Our Lips Are Sealed, But Your Patients Aren't Telling You." And I was there as a patient. He was there as adult child caregiver that is a clinician because he's a physician assistant. So that was kind of very interesting. We kind of learned a lot about each other, and once again kind of put it out there, like kind of what I felt like as a patient. And it was crazy that, to me, I've learned so much about the physician world out there. Like they really want to know what patients feel like and what they're thinking. Like it's not doctors are here and patients are here anymore. They want to know what we're thinking and they want us to help them. And that wasn't something that I think I ever understood until I got Part B, became ingrained in this community and started doing congresses and conferences and stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, as you do this advocacy, you also learn. I know I'm learning from each person I meet every day, and I'm grateful for all that you share and that I'm learning just now. I wanted to also share an important area and a few other great things of your advocacy, and I hope to meet you at this because for me, unfortunately, due to work and other medical issues, it's hard to leave the country, but this is a one-shot lifetime for me, so
Yeah.
likely we'll have to be there. But the World Parkinson Congress, I've told the story about them a lot. Eli's been on the show. We love them and we support them 24/7. When my mother passed 2 years after, I realized there were about over 1 million people in the US that had Parkinson's, but that was it, in my world. Then I discovered the World Parkinson Congress and probably saw you in Barcelona online because a lot of the time I had a major back surgery. But because of online and social media, I was able to learn, follow, and meet amazing people like yourself and so many others. And I was shocked when it was about 10 million people around the world have Parkinson's. And that's when I realized it can't be about me and my mother alone. It has to be about everyone together in this fight for a cure. So I always thank them and shout out to the World Parkinson's Congress and honor to have an ambassador again with us. We've had a lot of them here, but I wanted to know what kind of how'd you learn about the World Parkinson Congress, and also maybe I can tell everyone behind you there's a little guest appearance, so we have one here too. And this is Parky, and everyone, if you go to the Arizona World Parkinson's, you'll be able to probably meet him or her in person because I'm not sure yet if it's a guy or girl or what it is, but
I can't say that I've ever seen either. I haven't
actually,
seen it behind like
I
a,
always I see someone last time I saw someone with a picture of the giant live Parky, so I gotta find that's my own. Besides meeting you and everyone listening, I gotta find Parky.
oh, you'll find him. He makes his rounds.
Nice,
He's
that's
pretty
awesome.
accessible.
So maybe you could tell us a little bit about, how did you discover it and what made you want to get so involved, and then what's the selection process like?
Well, like I said, my Larry Gifford talked about it at the All In Summit in
Hmm.
DC before it happened, and I was moved by that whole thing. That was a life-changing conference for me. That's what got me involved with PMD Alliance, and they asked me to be ambassador then. And then Mike and I went to Barcelona, and like I said, he kind of came as my care partner, but I didn't know if he was really into it or not. But he ended up being very um, active in it, and he sought out like activities on his own because the care partners, a lot of them had their own activities that they could do, and he kind of went his way and I kind of went my way, and I think it got him more involved in my care plan than he ever had been before. Not that he wasn't, but I think it just gave it to him a different level, and he actually met people that like, oh my gosh, like there are people like me, there are other like people with young wives that have this. So that was good. That was a great thing for him. I think it was kind of life changing for both of us. And when they took applications this year, I was just like, you know what? I want to try this. If I can tell people what it meant to me, it might get people to make the effort to go, especially since it's in the United States.
No, I appreciate it. And then what's the process like? Is it long? Is
It
it?
wasn't too bad. I mean, you had to do an application and then but like just like almost like a job, and then you did an interview, and then you waited.
I appreciate that. And also, if everyone has a moment, I'm going to add the links to the show, but feel free to go to the worldpdcoalition.org. You can look up a lot of important information on Lori and all the incredible work she's doing and in support of the World Parkinson Congress. And we both hope to not just meet each other, but meet you too listening, because I think it'll be really a dream come true. We'll be surrounded by people who might be diagnosed, people, advocates like myself, but just a big family together. I always joke and say I probably won't go to any lectures. I'll be in the hallway with you and meeting everybody. So,
No, yes, you will, because you'll go.
yeah,
Trust me.
I appreciate that also. And then there's some other important areas I wanted to share. Your amazing website, and everyone go to Lori Deporter.com. Again, I'll provide the link so you don't have to type it. But here's some of the incredible advocacy and publications, blogs. I like to learn more about the organization you were writing with. It's hard to find out who's in charge or a lot about them, but I always wanted to speak to someone from there to talk about their magazine online. But
Oh, the
yeah,
Parkinson's
today,
News Today.
yeah,
I'll be able to do that with you afterwards. I
I
can give you
appreciate.
some names.
Yeah, I just want to help promote them because I think it's great to have, we don't have a lot of newspapers in the world, but that one specifically for this community is very important and they have some incredible topics and just some really important information that I think unfortunately people might not be aware of. Also, I found this, which was great. And this was a video about, maybe you could talk about since it's about you.
Yeah,
But definitely, now we have
it,
a
it,
commercial.
it it was one of the many opportunities that have been given to me as being an ambassador for PMD Alliance. I met the people from Kiwa Kirin, read something that I had written about us, and I wrote an article about a survey that was and white paper that was published on caregivers, and they because I was going through something with my family where I never really realized how much my own family struggled, and after 10, even it was 10 years into it, I never knew it, and I learned that, and it kind of spun this article, and I found this study, and the representatives from Kiwa Kirin came up to me at ATMRD and asked if they were like, "Are you Lori Deporter?" And I was like, "Maybe." And I said yes, and then we ended up talking, and one thing led to another, and they asked my family to come to the campus for a day, and they filmed this. They filmed this with us. My oldest son could not be there because he had to work, so he was on Zoom. So he was there for the town hall meeting, but he's not in the video.
I got the opportunity to watch it, so I do hope everyone listening can. Again, I'll add the link, but it's a beautiful journey and story and one that really needs to be out there, so we'll share it. And then also, you've been touching on it, but another incredible organization that's been on the show, PMD Alliance. How did you learn about them and what kind of things as an ambassador or working with them do you also offer?
I somehow I always thought, I don't know exactly how we got together, but I met Clemmy Fizzolo, who's part of their organization, and she's in charge of recruiting ambassadors, and she found me, and she's been a great mentor for me in the whole community and everything. Um, and I started writing for them because they had so many great videos. They had so many great videos that they made for during COVID, and they wanted to find a way to bring them back, and like a resurgence of interest in them. So I try to watch some of the ones that are popular, and then I kind of write about them. And then some of the stuff I write is for like the experiences of as an ambassador, like places we've gone, and things that we've done. But um, it's a great organization. They have, like I said, they have lots of videos. They have lots of live programs. If there's ever a program in your area, I highly recommend it because they go all over the world, actually in the country, doing programs. I'm actually doing one with a group in Lancaster in March, and I did one last year in Lewisburg. Um, so yeah, they're a great organization. I highly recommend them.
We need to get them here in South Florida. I think they had a table at a Michael J. Fox event with me at the IQ and you, or at me, sorry, or plus me, but they don't have a actual presence here, which I hope someday they will. Although, as you know, I'll be talking about them throughout the entire state of Florida, so hopefully that helps a little. But
But yeah,
thank
they actually have some people that live that some of their like people that I mean ambassadors in Florida, I'm sure.
you.
I'll have to try to hook you up with the ambassadors that are in that area.
Oh, that would be great. I wish everyone, I know they can, but even Michael J. Fox, I wish everyone had a kind of office here in South Florida because there's so much, Palm Beach County, at least, the fundraising would probably be great. And there's a very large elderly population that needs more support. We have two organizations, I won't name them because they are great and everybody I love, but they only kind of have, walk a year and that's really the most thing. So we need more, more is always better. But I wanted to thank you again for sharing all that. And everyone, please, if you have time, support Lori on all those incredible endeavors she's working on in the past, the present, and the future.
Mhm.
Now I wanted to shift to the final part of the show. And again, I hope it's not the final just for today, because when I always joke and say when the lights, camera, and paparazzi leave after the show, we still have to keep fighting for a cure together. So again, I'm so grateful for your time. Maybe you could start us off. Can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
Hmm.
These are the Barbara Walters section. No one,
Funny
please.
because I asked my kids to do the same thing.
It's
Um, because I wanted to see if they would list Parkinson's as like a description of me.
okay.
Um, I would say I'm resilient, but I would also say I'm vulnerable, and I like to think I'm funny.
No, I think you are. I think you are a really positive person. Not that that was part of the question, but I like that because I need that in my life some days when I'm struggling. So I'm gonna have to call you or text or email you when I'm having those days. And that's what I always say. Everyone can reach out to either of us, I'm sure. And 24/7, we're all here to support you. And I don't want anyone like I felt to ever feel alone when you're going through it, whether caregiving or your diagnosis.
Absolutely, because there's so much out there. When I was diagnosed, there was really not much at
I
all.
know.
I mean, I went through a really, really dark, dark time for quite some time.
I'm glad you know that we're out here now with you, and I don't want you to go through that. And I kind of sometimes feel sad in a way, even though it's a happy sad, if that's possible. Now, knowing and learning and meeting all these you incredible, inspiring people like yourself, and then looking back 10 years and not having a soul, and even knowing what was out there. But we didn't have the technology, so now
That's true.
we have to
That's
keep
true.
moving forward, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I'm in my 10th year, so
This is a tough question for some and maybe for you, but what is one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through all of your work so far with awareness that you can share? 'Cause I know there's probably more than one, but that's why I like to
um
catch you on the one.
I think like so you know how I said that I put my story on Brian Grant's website? Um because I read Neurology Now, I think it was called at the time. It was a magazine.
Mhm,
And when I was in my dark period and I read the magazine, he was on the cover and I read it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. That is so me. Like that is the one thing I connected with. And I was really not connecting with anything. So I actually got to meet him one time
mhm.
and I have a picture of me holding his leg
Funny.
because he's a really, really big guy. And he's like, my leg weighs like 50 pounds. So I think that was probably like one of my aha moments for me. Like wow, I can do this. I can do this. Because I needed to get out of the dark place where I was.
Yeah.
And it's okay to go there, but it's not okay to stay. And I was staying way too long. So mean, obviously the most recent things like going to Barcelona and that stuff was great. But in the very beginning, what got me on my path was Brian Grant and doing his website and finally meeting him.
Yeah, I love that story because I remember when I met Michael J. Fox, and it was, I had ironically, I've had a few ankle surgeries too, but I had it that week, and I was like, I'm not missing this no matter what. So I bought one of those little scooters, and I literally did about 30 miles in that scooter just to meet him for a few minutes. So
I wanted to meet him, but I've never met him.
yeah, he does a lot of the Comic Con shows. He loves the Back to the Future crowd. So I kind of didn't really go for no offense, Back to the Future fans. I
Yeah,
love it. But I
yeah.
really, you have to take your moment and your one shot and use it for awareness for Parkinson. That's what I did. And I put a video out and talk about being honest. We always are here. I went into the bathroom and videotaped it, but part of me was crying, part of me was happy because I just met my hero. But at the time, a year ago, and now even today, is kind of struggling. But I saw a little bit of my mother in him, and it was kind of tough. So it's really a great moment I'll never forget. But so many more moments I hope to still have him because he's an incredible person like you. And to me, you're all heroes. So I don't want to start everyone crying on the show. We've had that before, but let's move on. So this is another tough question, but you mentioned them already, so I might know a little bit of the answer, but. In this show, we try to take a moment, not just to thank you, because I want to thank you again, but to bring the people behind the scenes out, not literally, but to thank them for supporting you. And I wanted to send our love and support to you, your family, and everyone in your life, because without them, as I know, might not be able to be sitting here today and laughing and kind of advocating for others. So maybe you could tell us who helps you during times of struggle.
Would hands down would be my husband. There's no doubt about that. He's the rock that keeps the faith foundation going. Um, because and he's actually, like I said, he's actually been able to get more involved because he was in banking for 25 years and kind of got out of that, took a step into the nonprofit world and works for a children's development with kids with special needs. And I think part of seeing all my stuff and how families struggle, I think kind of pushed him into that arena. And that's great. But he has time now to go with me. He went with me to Texas, and he's known as Mr. Lori in the PMD Alliance circles.
Cool.
So he's kind of like we kind of work as a team now, which has been
Well,
great because it's hard to travel alone.
yeah. Well, I give him a hug from us, and we send our love and support to him. And I was going to say 3 boys, but they're men now, so I'm a little late on the the congratulations. But thank them all for us, because again, I really appreciate all that they do to help support you, so you can do such incredible things. Just to wrap up a few more questions. These are the fun ones, I say, the fun round. So, what would be the theme, if you're talking about music, what would be your theme song of your life story?
Um, I love the Foo Fighters.
Nice.
What's the one? Their one song is these are the days or these are the times.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Is that the name of the? Is that the?
There's so many. I play guitar for 15 years and have played
I
a
like
lot.
the Foo Fighters, and I like Lady Gaga. So pretty
All
much
right.
any
Nice.
one of those. Pick any of those. But
We were in Miami. My wife and I went to see Lady Gaga. She made us wait like 4 hours, and we never went. We were actually left after. I'm never going to another.
oh wow,
Yeah, it was crazy.
it's times like these
Times like these, I won't sing. You learn to love
you
again,
learn to live again.
live. Yeah. And who is your hero and inspiration?
Um, Probably my mom and my dad. I can't really say like that either one is better or more because my dad has late stage Alzheimer's, and sometimes I think part of the reason what Parkinson's came into my life is to be able to help him now. Um, and my mom is a superhero for everything she's done up like having me and her, it had to be tough to have me be diagnosed and then my dad, and she's a caregiver for both of us. I mean, she helps me, but she definitely helps as like caregiver for my dad. So I've written a couple of things that I call him Batman and I'm Robin.
Mhm.
And I've written a couple of stories about the two of us, and then she's Wonder Woman.
Well, we'll dedicate today to your mom and dad, and we're thinking of them too. So tell them hello for me. And the final one is actually it's two, but this is a fun one. If it's not everyone listening, let me know. But if you were asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call it, and what actress would play your role?
Oh, geez.
Now we're turning you into a celebrity entertainer today.
Because I'm not a big movie person.
Oh, sorry. You got movies?
I'm gonna say, wait. So what would the script be?
Yeah, what would you call the name of the movie and what actress would play your role?
This is not a joke.
Yeah, but now I'm laughing. You're not supposed to laugh.
But I mean, really, because like people look at me like, you don't have Parkinson's. You think you can? I'm like, yeah, I do. I had a
Yeah.
DAT scan. It's not a joke. I'm not lying. I wouldn't lie about this. Um,
Had a whole show about that once. How, you see people like right now, you can see me. I look happy and all that, but I have a back brace on and an ankle boot. So you never know what the person on the other side is really feeling.
yeah, just like me, I'm trying really hard not to be dyskinetic right now. Um, so who would play me? Hmm.
I don't want to put you on the spot, so if you can decline to answer.
I'm trying to think of like who's a
You can take the Fifth Amendment since I'm an attorney.
hmm, I'll go with Reese Witherspoon because I think she's funny and my husband likes her.
Yeah, I love the Four Christmases. That's my favorite. Any
And I
Christmas.
like Sweet Home Alabama, how she punched the mom right in the gut in the mouth when she didn't like what she said.
Oh my God. No, that's because you have the kickboxing classes.
Yep.
Rock steady. And then, it's been an honor and pleasure. And again, I hope this continues. I hope we get to not just meet live at the World Parkinson, but continue to advocate together because it really means the world to me and so many people listening. So before we take off or conclude today, if you could leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be sad, just don't stay there for a long time. Like I said, it's okay to sit down, but don't sit down long enough for your butt to leave an imprint in the sand. and dance like no one's watching.
I really love that, and you need to make a T-shirt, and I'll be the first in line to buy it that says the sand. I like that. Well, I wanted to thank you, Lori, and thank you everyone for listening. Please, again, support the World Parkinson Congress. Please go.
Yes, if you can go, you will not regret it. If Parkinson's has touched your life in any way, you will not regret it. I promise you.
Tell them Lori and George sent you. And also, please support PMD Alliance, the Brian Grant Foundation, the Michael J. Fox Foundation. We could be here for hours because, again, I do feel, and I believe Lori agrees, we have to be a family in this fight for a cure.
Yep.
I do have a little message for you, Lori, and for your Mr. Raccoon behind you, Mr. Parky, and also everyone listening. We love you, we support you, we care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Lori, will advocate for you, and together I feel our voices are so much stronger. And as I end the show always, I'm just getting started because even though Lori's been, doing this advocacy for 10 years, I've been doing it for 5. We can't stop. We have so much more work to do ahead of us, and I think together with your help, everyone listening, share this, support Lori and the World Parkinson Congress. I do again strongly feel in my heart together we're going to find a cure, but with everyone today together, it's going to come much closer. And until there's a cure at everyone's doorsteps around the world, not just Florida and Pennsylvania, but around the world, Lori and I will keep fighting. So thank you again, Lori. It's really been a honor, pleasure. So excited to
Thank you.
finally get the opportunity. And also thank you to everyone listening at home. Please stay tuned. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon and George, but there's so much more to come. And I'm not taking a break because Parkinson's disease doesn't. So let's get back right out there, everyone. Share this, keep advocating, and remember, you're never alone. Thanks again, Lori. Love you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.